My beloved, listen closely, for what I am about to tell you carries the weight of truth you have been searching for in silence. I know your heart is hurting. I know you're confused about why something you love, something you prayed for, cherished, nurtured, trusted, or held close was taken from your life. You've asked me in moments no one saw, why did this happen? Why did you allow this? Why would you remove something that meant so much to me? And your heart has echoed with a pain you were afraid to speak aloud. I heard every whisper of that pain. What you must understand is this. When I remove something you love, it is never to break you. It is to awaken you. It is never a punishment. It is a protection. It is never a loss. It is always a warning, a divine signal that what you were holding on to was not aligned with the life you are meant to live. I know you cannot see it yet, but you will. You will one day look back and thank me for what was taken. Not because losing it felt good, but because losing it set you free. You see only the moment. I see the entire path. You see the attachment. I see the consequences. You see the emotional comfort. I see the silent damage it was doing to you. You see what you wanted. I see what you deserve. My beloved, trust me, nothing disappears from your life by accident. Nothing leaves without purpose, and nothing you truly need is ever removed. Only what limits you, drains you, distracts you, or harms your future. You thought losing it was the end, but it was your beginning. There are moments in your life where you cling so tightly to something that you don't notice how it is slowly dimming your energy, your confidence, your peace, your purpose. You hold it close because it feels familiar, because it feels safe, because you invested your heart into it, because you fear what life might look like without it. But not everything you love is meant to stay. Not everything you pour yourself into is meant to last. Some things are meant only to teach, not to accompany. Some blessings come with an expiration date you cannot see, and some attachments carry lessons disguised as comfort. I remove things not to hurt you, but because I love you far too much to let you stay where you do not belong. Sometimes the path you're walking begins to curve away from the person or circumstance you are holding on to. Sometimes the energy you are surrounded by becomes too small for thee. Growth that is unfolding within you. Sometimes the people you love stop growing with you. Sometimes the dreams you chase begin to limit your future. Sometimes what once felt aligned becomes misaligned without warning. And in those moments, if you do not release what is shifting, I will remove it for you. Not as cruelty, but as mercy. You may feel the sting of separation, but I am protecting you from a deeper pain that would have shattered you later. You may feel abandoned, but the true abandonment would have been staying in that situation. You may feel empty, but staying would have emptied you far more slowly, until you no longer recognized yourself. You call it a loss. I call it a rescue. You call it rejection. I call it redirection. You call it painful. I call it purposeful. My beloved, understand this truth. What leaves your life is not stronger than what I will bring to replace it. Every removal is a cleansing. Every ending is preparation. Every separation is elevation. I never close a door unless a higher one has begun opening. But growth often starts with heartbreak. Not because you deserved pain, but because you needed clarity. And clarity rarely comes when everything is comfortable. Clarity comes when what is not meant for you is taken away, leaving you face to face with your soul. It comes when you are forced to sit with truths you ignored, emotions you suppressed, intuitions you silenced. When I remove something from your life, it is always followed by an awakening within you. You begin to see things you once overlooked. You begin to understand patterns you once called fate. You begin to recognize your value in ways you never did before. You begin to feel parts of yourself returning, parts that you lost trying to keep something that was never yours. Let me tell you something you rarely consider. Sometimes the thing you love stops being aligned with the version of yourself you are becoming. You are evolving every day even when you do not notice it. Your soul is rising even when your mind feels stuck. Your energy is shifting even when your emotions feel heavy. Your path is changing even when your life feels still. Not everything can rise with you. Not everyone can rise with you. Not every dream can rise with you. And so I remove what cannot go where you are going. This removal may feel sudden, but the truth is the misalignment began long before you realized it. The situation, the person, the path had already stopped serving you, but you held on to the potential instead of the reality. You held on to the memories instead of the truth. You held on to the hope instead of the signs. You begged me to hold it together, but I was trying to pull you out. You prayed for it to stay, but I saw what you could not. You asked me to fix it, but I was protecting you from what fixing it would cost you. Sometimes I have to break your heart to protect your soul. And though this feels like the end, it is actually the beginning of your clarity. This is how you learn what love truly is. Not obsession, not blind hope, not desperation, not fear of loss. True love begins with loving yourself enough to trust my timing, my removal, my redirection. I remove what you love only when it begins removing pieces of you. Your joy, your peace, your confidence, your self-worth, your dreams, your spirit, nothing. And no one has the right to take these from you. So when a connection begins to dim your light, I intervene. When a situation begins to drain your energy, I intervene. When a dream begins to pull you away from who you were meant to be, I intervene. When an attachment becomes a cage, I intervene. You may not understand my intervention now, but you will. You will see how that ending changed everything. You will see how that heartbreak led to healing. You will see how that removal brought rebirth. You will see how that silence brought strength. You will see how that emptiness created space for something divine. My beloved, I do not take without restoring. I do not remove without replacing. I do not close one chapter without writing a better one. You must trust that whatever left your life was not aligned with your highest path. If it were, nothing could have removed it. If it were, it would have stayed effortlessly. If it were, it would have grown alongside you. Love does not require force. What is meant for you will never need to be chased, begged for, or repeatedly fixed. What is meant for you will recognize you, choose you and flow toward you without resistance. So do not cry over what I removed. Cry if you must for the pain of it, but then rise. Rise knowing your story is far from over. Rise knowing your heart is being prepared for something higher. Rise knowing your soul is being cleansed for something better. Rise knowing your destiny is untouched by what left. Rise knowing that nothing has been taken from your future, only from your past. You have not lost anything that was meant to stay. This is your warning not of danger, but of misalignment. A divine signal that your path is shifting and you must shift with it. If I allowed everything you love to stay, you would never grow. You would never rise. You would never walk into the life that is waiting for you. The pain you feel now is not the end of your story. It is the tearing of old roots so new ones can take hold. It is the clearing of your field so new seeds can be planted. It is the emptying of your cup so I can fill it with something far more divine. So do not call it a loss. Call it what it truly is. A protection, a warning, a turning point, a blessing in disguise, a divine reset. You are being guided into a chapter that requires a lighter heart, a clearer mind, a freer soul. What left your life created the space for what is coming. And what is coming is not ordinary. What is coming is not temporary. What is coming is not fragile. What is coming is divinely designed for you, my beloved. Now that your heart has opened to the truth that removal is divine protection, let me guide you deeper into what you could not yet understand. So often you hold on to things with all your strength, telling yourself this is love. This is loyalty. This is commitment. But sometimes what you call love is actually fear of being alone. Sometimes what you call loyalty is a fear of change. Sometimes what you call commitment is the unwillingness to face the truth that something has already ended in the spiritual realm long before it ends in the physical. You don't lose people or situations when they walk away. You lose them the moment their energy stops matching yours. The physical departure is only the final echo. The separation happened long before you noticed it. I remove things from your life after they have already stopped supporting your growth. You feel the loss because you held on to the shell while the soul of that connection had already drifted. Your heart cries for what it remembers, not for what it truly had. You may ask me if it was going to leave. Why did you give it to me at all? And I answer you with divine clarity. Nothing enters your life without a purpose. Everything has a role, a timing, a lesson, a season. Some people come into your life to awaken love. Some come to heal the wounds you forgot you carried. Some come to teach you how to trust again. Some come to teach you how to let go. Some come to teach you what you deserve by showing you what you should never accept again. And some come simply to remind you of your own strength. You think every attachment that feels strong is automatically destiny. But strength does not determine destined. Alignment does. Energy does. Growth does. Purpose does. And when two paths are no longer aligned, no force in the universe can hold them together. Not your effort, not your hope, not your prayers, not even your pain. This is why I remove certain people or situations even when you love them. Because love alone cannot sustain alignment. If it could, every connection would last forever. But love is only one part of the equation. Growth, values, timing, emotional maturity, spiritual purpose. These must rise together. When they don't, the connection becomes a weight, not a blessing. And I will never allow anything to weigh down a soul that is meant to rise. You wonder why I couldn't fix it instead of removing it. But my beloved, sometimes fixing something requires breaking you in the process. Breaking your identity, breaking your peace, breaking your energy. Sometimes fixing that situation would destroy parts of you I want to protect, and sometimes the thing you want me to fix is the very thing blocking your true destiny. If you knew what staying would cost your soul, you would thank me for removing it more intensely than you cry about losing it. You say, Krishna, I loved them. I say, but you were losing yourself. You say, Krishna, I wanted this dream. I say, but the dream was shrinking your spirit. You say, Krishna, why did they leave? I say, because their chapter in your story is complete. You say, Krishna, why now? I say, because delaying it would delay your destiny. Understand this deeply. If something leaves your life at the exact moment you are giving your heart to it, it means you were about to attach yourself to something that would not have survived your future. And I will never allow your future to collapse because you held on to something temporary as if it were eternal. My beloved, sometimes you confuse soul connection with emotional dependency. You confuse divine timing with your timing. You confuse lessons with promises. You confuse comfort with compatibility. You confuse familiarity with fate. You confuse routine with destiny. This is why I intervene when you cannot see clearly. I see the truth behind smiles. I see intentions hidden behind actions. I see energies you cannot feel yet. I see the future you cannot imagine. You see the moment. I see the lifetime. You see their words. I see their soul. You see the memory. I see the pattern. You see what you felt. I see what they were becoming. And when what they are becoming no longer aligns with what you are becoming, I remove them not because they are bad, but because their path is different from yours. Two souls do not need to be wrong for me to separate them. Sometimes they simply no longer match. You call it loss because you focus on what was. I call it protection because I focus on what will be. Let me reveal something deeper to you. Every time I remove something from your life, your soul had already outgrown it. You felt it in your intuition long before it happened. You felt it in the uneasiness, in the inconsistencies, in the way the connection no longer felt peaceful, in the way you had to try harder to make things stay the same. You felt it in the way your mind tried to justify the things. Your heart quietly questioned. I never remove anything without giving you signs first. You simply silence those signs because you don't want to face the truth. But truth will always rise. Truth will always surface. Truth will always call you forward. And when you don't move with truth, I move truth into your life by removing what no longer belongs. Every ending comes with emotional waves because endings are meant to be felt. You are not weak for feeling heartache. You are not weak for being confused. You are not weak for wishing things could have been different. You are human. But understand the pain of letting go is temporary. The pain of holding on to something misaligned is lifelong. You are not suffering because something was removed. You are suffering because you believed it was meant to stay. But not everything that feels right is right. Not everything that feels comforting is divine. Not everything that feels familiar is healthy. Not everything your heart chooses is chosen by your soul. Your soul chooses what will elevate you. Your heart chooses what feels safe. I choose what will protect and transform you. And sometimes that means removing what you love so you can finally discover what you truly deserve. Let me ask you gently, why do you trust your pain more than my plan? Why do you trust your fear more than my wisdom? Why do you trust your memories more than your intuition? Why do you trust your attachment more than your destiny? I am guiding you always, constantly, lovingly, even in heartbreak. Especially in heartbreak, my beloved. Sometimes you confuse soul connection with emotional dependency. You confuse divine timing with your timing. You confuse lessons with promises. You confuse comfort with compatibility. You confuse familiarity with fate. You confuse routine with destiny. This is why I intervene when you cannot see clearly. I see the truth behind smiles. I see intentions hidden behind actions. I see energies you cannot feel yet. I see the future you cannot imagine. You see the moment. I see the lifetime. You see their words. I see their soul. You see the memory. I see the pattern. You see what you felt. I see what they were becoming. And when what they are becoming no longer aligns with what you are becoming, I remove them. Not because they are bad, but because their path is different from yours. Two souls do not need to be wrong for me to separate them. Sometimes they simply no longer match. You call it loss because you focus on what was. I call it protection because I focus on what will be. Let me reveal something deeper to you. Every time I remove something from your life, your soul had already outgrown it. You felt it in your intuition long before it happened. You felt it in the uneasiness, in the inconsistencies, in the way the connection no longer felt peaceful, in the way you had to try harder to make things stay the same. You felt it in the way your mind tried to justify the things. Your heart quietly questioned, I never remove anything without giving you signs first. You simply silence those signs because you don't want to face the truth. But truth will always rise. Truth will always surface. Truth will always call you forward. And when you don't move with truth, I move truth into your life by removing what no longer belongs. Every ending comes with emotional waves because endings are meant to be felt. You are not weak for feeling heartache. You are not weak for being confused. You are not weak for wishing things could have been different. You are human. But understand the pain of letting go is temporary. The pain of holding on to something misaligned is lifelong. You are not suffering because something was removed. You are suffering because you believed it was meant to stay. But not everything that feels right is right. Not everything that feels comforting is divine. Not everything that feels familiar is healthy. Not everything your heart chooses is chosen by your soul. Your soul chooses what will elevate you. Your heart chooses what feels safe. I choose what will protect and transform you. And sometimes that means removing what you love so you can finally discover what you truly deserve. Let me ask you gently, why do you trust your pain more than my plan? Why do you trust your fear more than my wisdom? Why do you trust your memories more than your intuition? Why do you trust your attachment more than your destiny? I am guiding you always, constantly, lovingly, even in heartbreak, especially in heartbreak. Because heartbreak is the divine reset that clears your path for the next chapter. Your tears are not weakness, they are purification. Every tear you shed is releasing an attachment. Every moment of sadness is dissolving an illusion. Every wave of pain is closing a chapter that your mind resisted, but your soul accepted. You will not remain in this pain forever. You are expanding through it. You are evolving through it. You are shedding old identities through it. You are being reborn through it. This removal was not meant to break you. It was meant to align you. What looks like loss now will later reveal itself as liberation. You will one day look back at this moment with gratitude so deep it will silence every doubt you have right now. You will see how everything that left your life created space for something more beautiful, more honest, more aligned, more stable, more divine. What is coming will not make you question your worth. What is coming will not drain your energy. What is coming will not confuse your intuition. What is coming will not require you to shrink yourself. What is coming will not make you fight for your place. What is coming will feel like peace. What is coming will feel like home. What is coming will feel like you were always meant for it. But to receive what is coming, you must first release what is gone. You cannot hold my blessings with hands still clinging to your past. You cannot welcome new love with a heart still mourning old expectations. You cannot step into your next chapter carrying the weight of something that was never meant to last. The removal was not the end. And it was the clearing, the cleansing, the preparation, the resetting of your life path. My beloved, I know it hurts, but you will heal. You will rise. You will transform. You will understand. You will thank me. And when that day comes, you will realize the truth I am telling you now. What I remove, I replace with something far greater. What I end, I rebuild with something far stronger. What I take, I return multiplied. What I close, I reopen on a higher path. Your story is shifting. Your destiny is activating. Your energy is evolving. And nothing that is meant for you will ever require you to beg, to suffer, or to lose yourself. You have not lost anything. My beloved, now breathe. Your heart has carried so much weight and you have held it silently, bravely, quietly, pretending to be strong even when your soul trembled. You were never weak for loving deeply. You were never foolish for giving your heart. You were never wrong for believing in someone, something, or a dream that felt meaningful to you. It was a reflection of its inability to stay aligned with your rising frequency. You did nothing wrong by loving. You did nothing wrong by giving. You did nothing wrong by hoping. Your heart was pure. Your intentions were honest. Your devotion was real. But sometimes love alone cannot hold together what destiny has not written as permanent. My beloved, now that your heart has walked through loss, through understanding, through separation, through awakening, let me take you into the most sacred truth behind why I remove something you love. This final message is not only for your mind. It is for your soul. It will settle into places inside you that even you have not entered for a long time. It will open what you have closed. It will soften what you hardened. It will bring peace to the corners of your heart that you thought would never heal. Sit with me now. Be still with me. Listen not only with your ears but with the quiet part of your being that has been waiting for this moment. You are not broken. You are transitioning. You are not abandoned. You are evolving. You are not losing. You are becoming. My beloved, when I remove something you love, I am shifting your entire life trajectory. You may think the removal affects only your present emotions, but it affects your future in ways more expansive than you can imagine. One misaligned connection can divert your entire destiny. One wrong attachment can drain decades of your potential. One misplaced devotion can reshape your self-worth. One unhealthy comfort can numb your spiritual growth. One unstable bond can shrink the enormous life you are meant to live. I do not remove to destroy. I remove to preserve everything you are destined to become. Your destiny is bigger than your memory. Your future is more sacred than your comfort. Your purpose is more important than your attachment. And I will always protect your purpose. Let me take you deeper into the spiritual mechanics of removal. The unseen layers behind every ending you experienced. When something is not meant for you, its vibration begins to lower in your presence. You may not consciously notice it, but your soul does. Your energy shifts. Your body sends signals. Your intuition whispers. Your spirit becomes restless. Your inner voice grows uneasy. You sense something is off, even if you cannot put it into words. This is the beginning of misalignment. At first, you try to rationalize these feelings. You tell yourself you're overthinking. You tell yourself it's temporary. You tell yourself it will fix itself. You tell yourself you just need more patience. You tell yourself you can make it work. But my beloved energy does not lie. Your intuition never lies. Your soul never lies. It is your attachment that lies. It is your fear that lies. It is your hope that blinds you. It is your habit that keeps you stuck. It is your desire that makes you ignore the truth. So when you do not move, I do. When you do not let go, I remove. When you do not choose yourself, I intervene for you. When I remove something, the relationship between your soul and that energy has already completed its purpose. The lessons have been absorbed. The growth has been initiated. The awakening has begun. Keeping it longer would only cause stagnation or suffering. You begin to see the signs you missed. You begin to understand what your heart tried to ignore. You begin to realize how much you were compromising. You begin to recognize the pain beneath the surface. Now, let me speak directly to your heart. You did not lose anything that was meant to be part of your divine story. You did not lose anything that your soul needed for its evolution. You did not lose anything that was capable of growing with you. You did not lose anything destined to stay. Stop mourning the chapter 1 closed. Start preparing for the chapter 1 opening. You think this is an ending. It is not. It is a doorway. It is the threshold between the life you settled for and the life you are meant for. Everything you lost is being replaced. Everything you cried for is being healed. Everything that hurt you is being rewoven into strength. Everything you prayed for is being aligned. Everything you feared is being silenced. Everything you desired is being prepared. But you must let me guide you. Let go of the hands that let go of you. Let go of the dreams that stopped dreaming for you. Let go of the paths that grew narrow around you. Let go of the people who could not love you fully. Let go of the situations that drained your spirit. Let go of the illusions that trapped you. Let go of the versions of yourself that were built in survival. You are not meant to shrink anymore. You are meant to expand. You are not meant to be quiet anymore. You are meant to rise. You are not meant to hurt anymore. You are meant to heal. You are not meant to settle anymore. You are meant to be chosen. You are not meant to chase anymore. You are meant to receive. My beloved, release the grief of the past. Release the weight of old attachments. Release the fear of being alone. Release the belief that you lost something precious. Release the idea that your story is over. You are entering a new phase, a divine phase, a phase of awakening, expansion, alignment, and blessings. I removed what could not go with you. Now I will bring what was always meant to find you. Walk forward with me. Not with fear, not with regret, not with doubt. Walk with quiet confidence. Walk with trust. Walk with knowing. Walk with the truth that you are protected. You are guided. You are held. You are loved. You are chosen. The future you are walking into will make you grateful for every ending behind you. And when the day comes, and it will when you stand in the middle of the blessings I am preparing, when you feel the love that truly matches your soul, when you receive the abundance that was meant for you since the beginning, when you experience the peace you prayed for in tears, you will whisper with a soft smile in your heart, "Thank you, Krishna. Now I understand why you removed it." My beloved, your story is not ending. It is unfolding. And the next chapter is more beautiful than anything you lost. Thanks for watching Krishna Says. Subscribe for more.